that's how XR was born. Honestly, XR was born as a defensive measure for keeping a corporation have staying power over the long run. And then so one company might go ahead and throw their investments. And so it was kind of like this, research lab, kind of like experimental playground where hopefully you can strike gold and you have something that's going to give your company some kind of dominance that will maintain its big player status in the game of the tech industry. I miss the times when innovation was created in response to a problem or there was an observed user need. And so the solution came to solve that user need. And this is what we think of when the Steve Jobs golden era, when he would come in and say, people were doing this and people were doing this. So what we did was we packaged this together and now we're going to give you this to make it XYZ easier. That's how technology used to be introduced. Now it's more like we need to make sure our business or our corporation or our platform has staying power for the foreseeable future. And so we need to figure out a new area to invest in, to create a technology for that could hopefully grab that new market. And so XR was born as that. In order to maintain this image, especially during a time when things were macroeconomically getting punished, like the companies were less investment was going in, there was a huge crash in 2022 post-COVID. So you're seeing a lot of companies now like over-invest in this hype, over-invest and this is what's going to be next and creating these narratives around these new technologies, and they're just not panning out slowly but surely. It's just more like pivot here, pivot here, pivot here. And people who have invested in this and who've been in this space are like, wait, what's happening? Like, is this stable? Like, why did this go away? Why is this deprecated? Why is this merging? Why is this being split apart? Why is this turned mobile? Like, it's really hard to figure out where things are going and if we have businesses as developers and creators that are dependent on these platforms, it's really hard to, create career success or entrepreneurial success. You're trying to find the opportunity that these companies are presenting for your own personal economic success. So with that said, we're not in that age anymore. So it's harder and harder to know and harder to gauge whether these new hype products are just more gimmicky. We've seen failures with NFT, we've seen failures with crypto. So there's a lot more misses now in this space than there used to be, because now people are chasing the next big thing rather than responding to user needs today. And smart glasses to me fits in that bucket of chasing the next big thing and not responding to user needs expressed today. And that's why I have low confidence in it as a tech enthusiast for this to be a mainstream product in the near term. Does it logically make sense? Yes. I do see some very clear day-to-day value as a consumer myself. I love smart glasses, but I keep losing it. And now that I live in the UK, there's all these regulations. I don't have the features that exist in America. They don't transfer here. So in a way, it's not a need to have. And I think anything that's not a need to have is not going to replace the phone. I think it might have like some highs or like some hills and valleys, but I think eventually it could easily flatline. If I can get insurance on these glasses, I would definitely be having it all the time, knowing that I might lose it, knowing my dog might chew them. And if I know that I have insurance that $300, $700 that I spent could be replaced if it's stolen off my face, because that's a potential future that I live in London. Smartphones are grabbed out of people's hands all the time. Those are the types of insurance and that type of infrastructure that supports the phone industry. I would need to see that for glasses as well, for this to be able to live up to that hype that we're promising for smartphones in 5 years or so. So too, Selena sent me an image of the SEO questions around smart glasses, and I thought that was so interesting. All the questions were about, is it the next big thing? Basically very, very hype driven. None of it was around user needs. And I know it's maybe cliche or annoying to say user needs, like who is that? But it's like people problems. Like, people are not going to invest in things if it doesn't solve a problem for them. So when I see, for example, in this post, like smart glass predictions, what is the future of smart glasses? What is the forecast for smart glasses? How does Mark Zuckerberg believe smart glasses is going to change the world? And what is the trend for glasses in 2025? That's like the 5 main questions that come up with smart glasses. And it's like, this doesn't give me confidence that we found there's going to be product market fit. I want to see questions like, What can you do with these glasses? How do I get a pair? How do I buy them? What's the cheapest ones on the market? This tells me that all these people talking about smart glasses are not people who are necessarily customers. They're all people who are hoping that this comes out to become some kind of investment opportunity. And again, doesn't give me high confidence. So having the baggage of XR, the learnings from what did XR look like, when people are being told and they're following a leader who's saying this is going to be the future, go this way, this Moses or whatever. This is a pattern I'm seeing being replicated in the AR space or in this smart glasses space. And I think that's something to pay attention to.